with Earl Anthony, Jay Randolph, as we come to the title match here in Dearborn Heights at the Satellite Bowl. $18,000 first prize. Pete Weber, who qualified first, Mark Roth, who qualified third, and no matter who wins this one, Earl, we will have our first player this year to win 3 PBA championships.
And the winner will probably, very likely, be the player of the year. So there's a lot of the line right now. Mark Roth could be the second millionaire on the tour, and he could lock up player of the year if he wins. Pete Weber is looking for his first player of the year award. Good break for Mark. Good break. The ball broke very sharply for him. He's going to have to keep adjusting. He's going more and more to the center of the lane. Lots of speed and loft. The ball breaks sharply again through the middle of the head pin. Could have been the split, as you can see. Could have been very easily the 6-7-10. Cross lane for the 6-10.
Ball gets down there in a hurry, doesn't it?
Mark's one of the better spare shooters on the tour. He uses a lot of speed, goes directly at the spares. Doesn't give the ball a chance to hook away from him. Now, Pete Weber playing the extreme outside edge of the lane, very near the channel.
Weber, a 300 game here last night, the 22nd of his career, starting off with a strike. Coming up next, the Breeders' Cup. $10 million, 7 races, 4 hours of coverage from beautiful Hollywood Park, except for those of you, of course, on the West Coast. Oh, my.
An early opening for Mark Roth. Chance to jump on Pete. Pete Weber has a really unique approach. He gets to the foul line, the ball very high over his head, shoulders low, straightens up, gets his legs under him, a lot of loft and speed, and power. That was a mistake right there. Pete, being on a strike, didn't want to really give up that 2 pins and count that he gave away by not taking 9 on that shot early in the match. I think he was just trying to see if he could get lucky and make it, Jay.
You don't want to leave an opening for the stacker.
No, you sure don't. Mark using more and more speed, more and more loft. He's getting the ball 7-8 feet down the lane in the air just to delay the roll, get the ball longer. As the lanes change, he's making his adjustments with speed and loft. He's trying to delay it. He's throwing it way down the lane in the air. Takes a lot of strength. Cross lane, easy spare for Mark.
Mark Roth, the only bowler in PBA history to earn more than $100,000 in 5 consecutive years. He did that 77 through 81. And Roth at the moment up by 13. Petey Weber's just 22 years old. From St. Louis. They're the all-time PBA money leaders, and Mr. Roth with a chance to go over the million mark. Big draw.
I think Mark thought he had a split on that shot. The ball came in very sharply again, like it did in the first frame when he hit the middle of the head pin. This time with a little more speed, a little more loft, it stayed on line.
You see Dick Weber there in 4th place. Bo Burton, 2 men from St. Louis. And Petey strikes in the 3rd.
I don't care who you are. When you're playing the line that Pete Weber's playing, it takes a lot of concentration and a lot of courage, because a slight error to the right, the ball will be in the channel.
He's got that ball just eating up that right side of the lane going down there.
Sure does. Pete Weber on his fingers, wearing part of a baseball glove to protect his fingers. He's been wearing that about 2 months now, and it's because of the tremendous lift he puts on the ball. It just tears his fingers up. It protects his fingers. Back in the match.
Voted the Sporting News PBA Rookie of the Year in '80. This young man, of course, has come back from a drug rehabilitation program.
Watch how near the channel. Watch how near the channel. Right on the very edge. He knows it's a good shot. He's running it out right there. There's the man of the hour.
Roth rings the bell in the fourth, has a double. Roth up by 13.
Last night in match play, Jay, we showed earlier that Pete Weber shot the 300 game. He also just ran away from the field. He started out in second place, overcame a lead that Brian Boss had of about 100 pins, and ended up leading the tournament over second place by 323 pins and 355 over Roth, who was in third. All comes down to one game. This is how the pins see Mark Roth coming to the foul line, and that's enough to scare anybody. Look at that power and lift. That's why the pin shakes so much, Jay, right there. I'd be nervous, too. Look at them flying around back there. Trouble. All right.
All right. I want to remind you to be with us next Saturday afternoon for the $150,000 Brunswick Memorial World Open. Earl, you and I and our NBC crew will be at the Northern Bowl in Glendale Heights, Illinois.
Right near my wife's hometown.
We'll be on the air at 3 Eastern Time, 2 o'clock on the West Coast. Boy, I thought he had a gutter ball there.
I did, too. I thought it was going to, but he's got a very difficult spare here. 210. The ball comes way down the lane. He got a little wider than he wanted it to. Watch it hang on the edge of the channel, right out to the very edge, way down the lane. A lot of revolution comes behind the head pin. Bad break. He was lucky to get the 8 pin out. Would have been really difficult. He's very unhappy at this point. And
He
I can
has
understand that.
won 4 PBA titles in his young career, but he has never won from the top spot, Earl.
I didn't know that.
He told me that last night. He had never won from the top spot. And he's fighting.
You think that's on his mind?
I do. I think he's fighting it right here. Down 26.
That and bowling Mark Roth. Oh, boy.
You're watching the Fall Tour, the PBA, on NBC Sports, and uninterrupted coverage, of course, of our championship match. This week, 226.6 for Weber. He averaged 236.5 on the TV pair.
And he's very upset now. The lanes have changed a lot, Jay, as they progress through the matches. And as the lanes change, there is a slight disadvantage for the leader because he waits for those three previous matches to be finished before he can come over and bowl. And the edge goes to the player that bowls him in the championship. And Mark Roth doesn't need an edge. He's tough enough as it is.
Oh, and a problem for Mark.
The important thing on that shot is the count that he lost. He got a 5 count, and he's put the count very close. Look at the aggressiveness of Mark. Look at the look in his eyes. Goes to the foul. Look at the tremendous loft. And the ball was late. Tough spare.
Oh, he got it. 1, 2, 4, 8, 10.
Pitcher perfect. Slide the head pin right over into the 10 pin.
I'll tell you, we'll think back to that one. If this one goes to the wire, that was a very big spare indeed.
Definitely was. Both players, very explosive players, each capable of striking, just continually striking. So both are aware of the other's ability to throw a lot of strikes. They can't afford to let up.
Roth up by